In this bulletin, deadly attack in Nigeria kills 29. New Aussie coalition crosses denominational lines. And does religious freedom extend to Satanists?
This is InFocus Christian News and Current Affairs.
Hello and welcome to Record in Focus. I'm Kent Kingston.
And I'm Sibel Kute. We'll answer 3 questions in today's program.
Well, a lot more than 3, I'm sure, Sibel.
Yes, but 3 main questions.
Okay.
What is the Rosetta Stone? What exactly is quality time? And who are Eric and Monique?
Well, I do actually know the answer to that third one. Eric and Monique are a musical couple whose interview is coming up later in today's program. They're lovely people. But for the answers to the other questions, well, you'll have to stay tuned. News up first, Sibel?
That's right, Kent. 29 people have been killed in a deadly attack on a predominantly Christian community in Nigeria's Borno state. According to allafrica.com, members of the Boko Haram terrorist group stormed the village with guns and petrol bombs, burning a number of homes to the ground. The local member representing the area told Parliament that before the attack he had been asking the government to send security forces, but to no avail. The same village was attacked just a few weeks before by Boko Haram, who on that occasion killed 14 people and burned down 3 churches. The most senior churchman of the world's 80 million Anglicans has told the UK government it must not sell weapons to countries that don't protect religious freedom. According to Premier News, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, said trade should be restricted with oppressive regimes, and the UK should speak out clearly about its concerns. He said almost half of the Anglican Communion's 38 provinces around the world are struggling under religious persecution. Statistics released by The Economist last year show that the UK is the world's 6th largest weapons exporter. Its largest market is Saudi Arabia, a breeding ground for Islamist radicals, where it's illegal to build a church and the punishment for converting to Christianity is death. Concerned parents and Christian organisations are raising the alarm about a school anti-bullying programme that they say pushes a political agenda about same-sex marriage and links kids to sex education material that's inappropriate for their age. According to The Age, the Safe Schools programme has been available for some years, but is now under scrutiny after it objected to Catholic schools distributing a booklet that opposed same-sex marriage. After the Australian Christian lobby went public with its concerns, the federal government warned the Safe Schools Coalition against using their anti-bullying programme to push controversial political views. Family Voice Australia say there are other anti-bullying programs available to schools that broaden the focus from gender and sexuality to all kinds of bullying. An alliance of evangelical Christian leaders has been launched in Brisbane that seeks to break down denominational barriers and look for opportunities to develop gospel partnerships. According to New Life, more than 1,000 people gathered for the launch of the Gospel Coalition Australia, including 110 Christian leaders. The Gospel Coalition Australia is inspired by its American forerunner and is largely led by pastors and academics from the Presbyterian, Evangelical Anglican and Baptist traditions. The hub of the new coalition is a website where sermons and ministry resources are being posted to help inspire and connect church leaders around Australia. For decades now, Australians and New Zealanders have been enjoying a healthy breakfast every morning without realising that it's produced by a Christian organisation. Since the 1920s, WeetBix has been manufactured by the Sanitarium Health and Wellbeing Company, which is owned and operated by the Seventhday Adventist Church as an expression of its emphasis on holistic living. This year, research by Reader's Digest has found that WeetBix is once again the most trusted breakfast brand for Aussies for the 3rd year in a row, and for Kiwis for the 5th year in a row. A few weeks back, we reported on the spate of church burnings in the US after the shooting deaths of 9 African-American worshippers. Well, despite the tragedy, something positive has emerged from the situation. An outpouring of national grief and soul-searching over racism in America has led some groups to look for practical ways they can help rebuild the church buildings destroyed by fire. According to the Huffington Post, more than $100,000 has now been raised by 3 Muslim groups who say every house of worship should be a safe place. Tension still smoulders, however, with burnt crosses being found outside an Adventist church building in El Paso, Texas, on 2 separate occasions. And still in the US, the debate over religious freedom has been taken to a new level by the unveiling of a 9-foot-tall bronze statue by a Satanist group. According to Religion News, the group is opposed to the display of biblical symbols on government land, such as monuments of the Ten Commandments in courthouse grounds. The Satanic Temple group unveiled the statue in Detroit, Michigan, but plans to transport the 1-ton edifice to sit next to a Ten Commandments display, a number of which remain despite a ruling by the Supreme Court. A study of religious belief and unbelief in America has found that Seventhday Adventists are the most racially and ethnically diverse group in the country. Adventists top the Pew Research chart ahead of Muslims, Jehovah's Witnesses and Buddhists. Church leaders say Adventist diversity is not just an American phenomenon, but is reflected in the presence the denomination has in 215 of the world's 237 countries. The least diverse religious groups in America are those whose historic identity is connected with their ethnic or national background, such as Hindus, Lutherans, or African American churches. A huge church youth gathering in Papua New Guinea's Southern Highlands featured the baptism of 357 people and saw a further 1,000 respond to a call to commit their lives to Christ. The event was attended by around 10,000 people and was the culmination of efforts by young Adventists in the region to reach their friends and communities for Christ. The World's Changes project, running over a number of years, has resourced, trained and inspired young people to share the Bible with others and offer them the chance to come to faith. Ever had the sense when you're reading the Bible that the verse you're reading was written specifically for you? Well, a new mobile application may help readers have that experience more often. The To You Bible app allows the user to submit their name and gender so that the whole Bible will be personalised and the verses will seem to be directly addressed to them. The app developers say they've been careful not to change the teachings of the Bible while still creating a sense of intimacy. And that's this week's news. Kent?
Thanks, Sibel. Stay with us. History in Focus is coming up straight after the break.
So you think you've got your future all planned out, right? Or maybe you're not sure yet what you want to do, who you want to be, but whatever path you choose to study, a great education matters. Because it doesn't just help you get a great job, it helps you prepare for what life can throw at you and live a great life. Avondale, it's education designed for life.
Signs of the Times, a magazine for a world on the brink. And this month in Signs, how one courageous woman stood up to ISIS and won. The only hope for repairing humanity's defective gene pool. A little veggie patch can benefit both your own health and the environment. Getting to know the different faces of God. All in this month's Signs of the Times. Subscribe to Signs today and change your life.
Hi and welcome back to History in Focus, another segment where we're going to be digging up the mysteries of the past. I'm Adam Kavanagh and I'm here with Gary Webster, editor of Archaeological Diggings. Gary, how are you?
Good, thanks Adam. Glad to be here.
Good to have you here. Now, whenever you come, I'm always excited because you bring crazy, weird things from all over the world. This one doesn't look so crazy, it just looks like a rock.
Well, it's a very important piece of rock. This is actually known as the Rosetta Stone.
Okay.
Very famous. You can see it in the British Museum today. It was actually discovered by some of the soldiers of Napoleon Bonaparte, of all people.
Our little friend Napoleon.
Napoleon.
Okay.
He was down there in Egypt in about 1798 and they discovered this stone.
And this is the actual size of it?
No. This is just a replica, shrunken version of it.
Okay.
The real one's about so high. You know.
Okay, so it's quite an impressive piece
absolutely.
of stone. Like what kind of things? I can see here, it looks like writing. I mean,
You can see it's in 3 sections for starters.
Yeah.
The 3 sections, it was guessed by the scholars back then that this is probably a story in 3 different languages. Now, they knew the first one down here. This is Greek down here.
Yeah.
Then there's a cursive script of the Egyptians called Demotic, and up here is the hieroglyphs. Now, on the tombs and the temple walls and so on, there's heaps of this language, the hieroglyphs. But nobody could understand it. What does it all mean, all those strange writing? Now, when they were able to, they thought, you know, this is the known Greek language, they were able to decipher the hieroglyphs. It took them about 20 years.
And so we're talking only about 300 years ago they first discovered how to...
A couple of hundred years ago, yeah. And it took them 20 years. Now, what it meant was that now we could actually read all the writing on the tombs and the temple walls and understand the Egyptian culture, their history, their medical practices, and their religious beliefs. So this really unlocked Egypt for them.
Does it give us some insight in their hieroglyphics now of stories that actually occur in the Bible?
Mainly events or people, that sort of thing. For example, there's a stele. We call it a stele in the Cairo Museum today. It's the only place in all of Egypt that actually mentions the name Israel, but you can see that in the Cairo Museum. Wow. The Bible, for example, mentions a group of people called the Hittites. Now the Hittite peoples mentioned 40 times here. People said, no, that's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
We've got no record of these people in history. And then, of course, as they were now able to read this hieroglyphic writing, they found that the Hittites did exist. For example, you can come here to the Abu Simbel temple here, and when you go inside here, you see Ramesses the Great, Ramesses II, he's fighting the Hittites. How do we know? Because we can read the Egyptian hieroglyphs, and it exactly says that these people did exist, no question about it at all.
And see, so quite often the Bible we know is truth, and it's just our knowledge, I guess, that limits us to believing certain aspects of it, you could say.
I think it's important to know that the Bible is historically accurate. It's not a bunch of fairy tales, myths and legends, and that's what many people feel the Bible is. But here we can see very clearly that the Bible was correct about these people, and there are many other things as well.
Well, great. Thanks for that, Gary. Stay with us. We'll be back with more In Focus after the break.
Unearth ancient civilizations with archaeological diggings. This bi-monthly magazine will keep you up to date with news and insights from the fascinating world of archaeology. Subscribe online or ask for archaeological diggings at your newsagent.
Every week, It Is Written is available to millions of free-to-air viewers throughout Australia, New Zealand, New Guinea and the Pacific. It Is Written's Gary Kent regularly takes viewers to the far corners of the globe to report on new evidence and discoveries that confirm the Bible and Christian beliefs. It Is Written also provides medical care to remote Pacific Island communities. Join Gary Kent each week for It Is Written. See television guides in the It Is Written website for broadcast times. It Is Written with Gary Kent. It really is television that changes lives.
Welcome to Family in Focus. We're here with Trafford Fisher. Trafford, every time I read a book or an article about relationship advice, it always has quality time right at the top.
Yay!
What does quality time actually mean? How does that look?
Gary Chapman put out a book called The 5 Love Languages.
Great
and a lot
book.
of people remember quality time. It's just one of the 5, but it is an important one. I was going to say generally for women, women particularly seem to value quality time, but guys do as well.
Does it look different, like quality time for men, quality time for women?
They might express it somewhat differently. The key is, it's about togetherness, not just proximity.
Okay.
A guy can say, I'm spending time with my wife. I'm here. I'm in the house. He's in the house, but he's not home. He's in his head. He's watching footy.
He's
in the laptop.
garage.
Just recently I had a lady, she said to me, Trev, my husband, he thinks he's spending time with me. He's on the computer or he's reading the paper I'm talking to him, and he's but he's not with me.
So proximity doesn't count as quality time?
Yes, making a start, but that's not it. You're right. So many guys think, if you ask a guy, are you spending time with your wife? Yes, because he's in the house or he's in the shed, but he's there. No. So you give your focused attention. And so often ladies will say to their husbands, "You are not listening to me." And the guy says, "But I am." And I did that once to my wife. I said, "This is what you just said," and she wanted to kill me. What she meant to say is, "You're not giving me your full attention." That's the key.
Oh, okay.
So if I want to give my wife quality time, I turn towards her and I give her my focused attention. I'm not on my computer. I'm trying to keep out of my head. I'm on my stuff and saying, "Wow, tell me a bit more about that." Yay! So she gets the message, I'm there, I'm with it. Same with kids, right? It's not just the husband-wife thing. Quality time with kids is focused, invested time, so they know, hey, I'm there fully to hear, to respond, to be there. Okay? So it's not shared with computer and laptop and newspaper and sport and the dog. It's I'm there for you.
Maybe they could pretend to have a TV show and interview each other.
They could
I feel like we're spending quality time.
That'll work. Whatever works. It's focused. It's there.
Wonderful. So tell me, how would quality time look for a young child? Is that just playtime out the back, or going on trips, day trips?
It can, but again, it's that focused attention on the child. So it's not just, let's go for a walk down to the park, but we spend time talking to the ducks or, fixing up the pram all the time. We're not there for the child, so it's getting down on the ground, it's in the swing, it's whatever you're doing, you're there, focused. You're sort of investing all your energy and emotional energy, if you like, in this now.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Trafford. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Discover some of these artists from Salter Music. Anna Weatherup.
Oh, people get ready for the train to Jordan.
Castles in Air.
Like watchmen wait for the morning light.
Eric and Monique.
You alone are my strength, my refuge.
Sapphire.
His love reached the bottom of the ocean.
No matter what shade of musical taste you have, you might just find something that sings to you. It's all waiting to be discovered at saltermusic.com. Fresh and exciting original Christian music from Salter Music.
Hi, welcome back. Well, it's great to have in the studio today some people who have called themselves musicianaries. Is that the right word?
Yes.
That is it, yeah.
Yep. Eric and Monique, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So what is a musicianary? Help us out.
A musicianary is basically combining the words a musician and a missionary.
Okay.
So that's our main focus, just to be missionaries for God, just to speak about Him through our music.
Okay, so what does your average week or month look like, Eric?
Well, it's really a lot of time in the office, actually. Monique's doing a lot of the booking, planning for future tours, calling people, emailing people, if we're on tour, on the road. Yeah.
So you guys are doing this full-time now, aren't you? So full-time, concerts, touring, travelling?
Yeah, we started, 3 years ago, full-time?
Yeah, nearly 3 years ago. We started doing this full-time, which involves what Eric said, being in the office, but also being on the road around Australia. We still have to get to Northern Territory, but we've been to all the other states.
And you've been overseas as well, is that right?
Yeah, we've been able to do some touring in America as well as in Europe and New Zealand.
Is that exciting, or some people hate travel, some people love it?
We love travel. Yeah, we love travel. It's sort of, a lot of people say to us, oh man, it must be so cool seeing all those things. And a lot of the time we're actually driving past all the awesome sites because we have to get to a church to do a concert, so we miss out on a few things. But the days where we have off, it's just great.
Yeah. Now, you said you've been doing this for about 3 years. Can I take you back there about 3 years ago? You guys were having a real struggle with like lifestyle, materialism, all this sort of stuff. Can you explain what was going on there and what helped you make your decision to take the direction you have?
Well, that actually happened 6 years ago.
Oh, that was even longer ago.
Yeah, it was even longer ago. We were kind of struggling because we were both working for God. I was a high school teacher at an Adventist school, and Eric was doing youth pastoring. But I don't know if you've ever had that where you just feel like something's missing, where in your heart it doesn't feel like you're truly following in every single part of your life. And we felt that way, and so we just started to pray about it, pray where God wanted us to go, and he ended up leading us and taking a whole year off and just literally giving a year to God.
Wow.
Which led us to volunteer in Ukraine for 6 months and then to go to a Bible college called Arise in America.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a real spiritual revival for me. I was listening to a lot of sermons on faith, and there was one guy that just went out and made all these amazing decisions based on faith, and I thought, man, am I doing that? Am I living by faith, or am I just going with the status quo? So yeah,
it's often struck me actually that we look at Jesus and his disciples touring around Galilee doing this itinerant thing, and you think, how does that even relate to how we live our lives today? And honestly, the only thing that I've found any connection with is a touring band. Okay. That's you know what I mean? It is sort of like Jesus and his disciples moving around, living by faith. Does it strengthen your faith? Touring?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's definitely been a progressive thing, though. Like, in order for us 6 years ago, in order for us to go to Arise, we didn't have any money at all. We were in Ukraine. We had $200 in our bank account, and we needed quite a bit to not only get to America, but also pay for the tuition and live there, doing the college. So we were praying about it. We let people know, this is what we're thinking about doing. And over the next few months, slowly through maybe $200, $500, sometimes a couple thousand, we got the exact amount of money that we needed to go to this Bible college.
Wow.
And yet, when we got there, it was only about 1 month before the end of the course, and we were down to $55. And even though we had seen everything that God had given to us in the past, and God does provide, he does look after everything that we need, we were met with this decision at church this one morning. All that year, this year we had given to God, we said whatever money we have in our wallet, we would give to him. No matter how little, no matter how much. Because, God promises I believe it's in Malachi, where if we, give him our offerings and our tithes, that he will open the storehouses of heaven. And God says, try me in this. And we thought, okay, we'll do that. We'll try this. But when we got down to our last $55, we were in church, and the offering was called, and I opened my purse, and there were $50 in there.
Just happened to be that.
I had left the $5 at home.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, it should be the 5. Why is the 50 in
there? Oh, okay. The wrong note was in there.
The wrong note. And so I looked at Eric, and I said, what are we going to do? And he's like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to give this $50.
And that was the commitment you'd made.
Yeah, it was the commitment.
Yeah.
And so it was literally like this horror story film moment where everything went slow and there was this doom music, and there was all these nerves, and we just looked at each other and we had a prayer. And as soon as we finished praying, we just knew we had to do it. We had to give this money. And so the offering plate came by, we gave the $50, and instantly we felt at peace.
Wow.
Then later that night, we're doing this community concert, this community evangelism thing. I was one of the greeters at the door. This guy I had never seen walked through, shook his hand. When he went away, I looked down, there was two $50 notes in my hand.
Oh, wow.
Double.
And I raced,
double your money.
I raced after him, I'm like, you forgot something. And he's like, no, I don't know you, but God impressed on me to give you this.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa.
Incredible.
No way.
Wow.
But then later on that night, one of our teachers came and gave us an envelope saying, this person got impressed to give you this money, but they didn't want you to know who it was, and it was another two $50 notes.
There you go. Wow. That's incredible.
Amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah. So Eric, is living by faith just about money? I mean, you're touring now. Obviously, money's a part of it, but how do you find your faith is affected?
Just did as a deeper level. We're writing songs and we're touring. We're hearing so many amazing stories of how people were blessed by the concert or the music, and just having to make that step of faith and to plan out a whole tour where you don't know how it will work out. You just have 10, 12 dates, and we don't charge fees. It's all faith driven. So a lot of the churches will give a love offering or something like that, but
a donation sometimes.
So
CD sales.
Just the whole process of having to step out over and over again, increases your faith. Really it does for me anyway. But there'll be times like that story where you're like, no, we can't do it. This is silly. Why are we doing this? And no matter how many times God has worked in the past, it's just you doubt, you question.
And I notice one of the songs on your new album here, Everlasting, is Doubting Thomas. So that's interesting. Now, let's just talk about your music for a little while. Your first album had some fairly sort of heavy theological, you know, Laodicea, the Sanctuary, you know, all sort of theological stuff. Would you describe this album as being similar or different? Like,
in some ways it's similar, in other ways it's different. It's a little bit more personal with the doubting, and the first song on the album is called Temporary, and it's about why do I love this world so much, and like why can't I give it up? If heaven's my home, why don't I live like that?
Wow.
Yeah, so it's very, I would say it's very personal.
In the first part of the album, and then as we go to the second part of the album, it has more of those heavy biblical things. Like,
so it's still quite strongly biblical.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Well, look, just because we're out of time, but just as we do finish, let's just have a quick listen just to one of your clips there. This is Orion.
Lofty Mount Zion, city of light, praise Him forever. No end in sight. Beauty no words can describe. Beauty no words can describe. Heaven, the gates open wide. Heaven, shining so bright.
Hey, thanks guys for that. Where can we get hold of this album? Through your website, ericandmonique.com?
Yeah, ericandmonique.com. It's on all the digital platforms, well, most.
Yeah.
iTunes, Google Play. Yeah, our website where you buy it off their digital version as well. So
yeah. Oh, that's excellent. Hey, thanks so much for being here, and may God continue to bless your ministry. And thanks for your inspirational faith stories. It's incredible stuff.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you straight after the break.
Thousands of years ago, a series of ancient prophecies were disguised within a system of mysterious symbols. For centuries, these remarkable predictions have been sealed to the world until now. Check out our new Secrets of Prophecy online course today in 24 beautifully illustrated free studies at www.itiswrittenoceania.tv or call 1300 300 389 for your free copy today.
Hello, it was great having you with us this week. Don't forget you can watch all our videos at record.net.au.
Yes, they're all there. You can track them back to our Vimeo archive, and we're even on YouTube, Sibel.
And if you like what you see, you can share the videos with your friends on social media.
Oh yeah, we definitely encourage that. You can send comments there too. You know, email, Facebook, Twitter, the usual. Thanks so much for your company this week.
God bless.